I speak of peace, therefore, as the necessary, rational end of rational men. I realize the pursuit of peace is not as dramatic as the pursuit of war, and frequently the words of the pursuers fall on deaf ears. But we have no more urgent task. Let us not be blind to our differences, but let us also direct attention to our common interests and the means by which those differences can be resolved. And if we cannot end now our differences, at least we can help make the world safe for diversity. For in the final analysis, our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this small planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's futures, and we are all mortal. And that is the most important topic on earth, peace. What kind of a peace do I mean, and what kind of a peace do we seek? Not a Pax Americana, enforced on the world by American weapons of war. Not the peace of the grave or the security of the slave. I am talking about genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope and build a better life for their children. Not merely peace for Americans, but peace for all men and women. Not merely peace in our time, peace in all time.
And what is amazing, absolutely amazing, is that Khrushchev heard it, was carried away, summoned the U.S. envoy, Kennedy's envoy, to Moscow, Averell Harriman, and said, "This is the finest speech by an American president since FDR. I want to make peace with your president."
A funny story, because I wanted to make this clip for you. I made another whole video, spent an hour. One thing I don't like about these mics, if you don't pair them up ahead of time, once you plug in the receptor into the camera, if it's not paired up, you get no sound. So I just made a whole video with no sound. But it's okay, it was somewhat unorganized, and now I've got the video. And we've got the last day with the boss dog. Got the camera way up in the air here so you can enjoy the view. We're gonna head on home, remake the video in the kingfish chair with the dog. He goes back to the battle axe tomorrow. We won't see him again for a month. Let's get into the video. Watching the world burn, watching the world burn. January 29th, 2025. Let's get into it. Anyway, let's talk about the previous two clips. I wanted to start with the JFK because the JFK files have been released by Trump, finally. Good Lord. I was born in 1963. So anyway, so my entire lifetime, they never released the files. Freaking believable that we can thank Mike Pompeo for that. Because in Trump's first term, he had promised to release them. But I did want to talk about that just a little bit and how the world has changed just a bit. So I'm pretty doggone sure that that was it was a combination of, you had the mafia and you had the CIA, and of course Lyndon B. Johnson was one evil son of a bitch. I don't know why Kennedy picked him as his vice presidential candidate. I mean, there are some horrible stories about Lyndon B. Johnson. I mean, my God, that guy he was satanic, man. And so I'm sure that Johnson was probably in on the plot to assassinate JFK. So, there's a lot of books and you can read about them and, you can go out and do your own research. But I just wanted to compare that to today's situation. So here you had this evil bastard that was going to get us into a war and profit the military-industrial complex called Lyndon B. Johnson behind Robert F.K. So there was every incentive for everybody on earth to kill JFK. And you saw his speech where he was trying to broker peace with Russia. Now, Trump has come out and said he might try to do something similar, which is going to definitely put Trump on the chopping block. And there's going to be some deep state operatives that are going to want to kill Trump. But then you've got Vance in the pipeline. It's not the same as having a satanic son of a gun like Johnson behind you. And then, of course, behind Vance, you've got Johnson, which I'm not sure he's not a deep state operative, but I mean, he's definitely better than Johnson. So I just going to tell Trump, man, you and Vance don't get together. No way, no how, man. Stay the hell apart. So that if they do take out Trump, because I think Vance would continue with Trump's agenda for the most part. I mean, I'm sure obviously everybody has their own opinion on things in general. And we're going to talk about Trump's thing. And when you go back through history, I think since Eisenhower, basically every president has been owned by the deep state. You look at Truman, dropping the bomb on Japan. Everybody says, "Oh, that was to stop the war." No, the war was already over at that point. There was no reason to kill hundreds of thousands of people in Japan. He just wanted to make a statement to the Soviet Union. That's kind of satanic, right? Kill 200,000 people just to make a statement. And then, of course, in the end, the Soviet Union got the nuclear bomb. And in fact, their arsenal now, it's not the Soviet Union anymore, it's Russia. And we've talked about Russia many times on these videos. That they're not the evil empire that the Western legacy media wants to paint. They're actually, I've watched a lot of videos of conversations with the Russian troops. Many of them are good people. Now, there was just an instance where they killed some Ukrainian soldiers that were surrendering. I mean, that's wrong, but that's a rare occurrence. I will tell you that as far as I can tell from all of the Telegram and videos that I've watched. I encourage you to go watch Patrick Lancaster. And then, of course, you go through the presidents. We had the Vietnam War, and then we had the Korean War. And, it's just been the military-industrial complex has ruled this country for quite some time. And then, of course, the other clip that I wanted to put up front was just because of the scenery was so beautiful. And it was a funny story, and I kind of told you what had happened. I was up making the video. That was on the 27th of January. And if these mics don't pair, then you get no sound at all. And so I worked on that video for don't think I don't spend a lot of time. So let's just get into the news here. The first one is, everybody says there's no way in hell that Robert Kennedy Jr. is going to get approved. I don't know, man. Nicole Shanahan, she just put out a blistering freaking post on X. And she was talking to some of the Democrats like Fetterman, and then, of course, Lindsey Graham. Mitch McConnell's going to vote against, that dude probably doesn't have long to live. And I think he's going to go out in a blaze of satanic, demonic person that he is, the turtle. Because I don't know why the people of Kentucky kept electing him. I mean, he's obviously a Democrat. I can't even call him a rhino. So he's going to vote. No, he's definitely going to, because he's not going to run again. He's got nothing to lose at this point. His true stripes have come out completely. So that's one vote right there on the rhino side. And Lindsey Graham, he's already said that he's going to vote. So that's two. And then, of course, you've got the other rhino Democrats, Susan Collins and what's the senator out of Alaska, So I don't know how he's going to get approved, but Nicole Shanahan, and of course you got Big Pharma and you got Big Food. I mean, they basically have bought all the politicians in Washington, D.C., but Nicole Shanahan, by the way, she's worth $1 billion. I did check it out myself, which is not that much when you compare it to like an Elon Musk or a Zuckerberg or something like that. But she said she's going to she's going to do everything she can to primary anybody that votes against RFK, because you know she was his vice presidential running mate in the election. And I'm not sure how many, and Robert Kennedy's got hell, I bet he would have gotten maybe, 5 to 15% of the vote in the United States. I don't know how much money, besides Nicole and the other billionaires, they might come out. And if they put the pressure on Congress, we may just get RFK in there. And the one that seems like is not going to get approved is Tulsi, because she pissed off the Democrats. and I tell you what, but we've got to have her in there. And I'm hoping that Trump will appoint her. So that'll put her in the office for a year, regardless of what the Senate does. And so we got that. And then there's the Kash Patel. People on X keep posting that he's got the support that he needs to become the FBI director. I don't know, man. But here's, let's get into some of the breaking news. The drones. Trump, in the press conference today, or yesterday, the 28th, they came out and said, yeah, those were our drones. They were doing a PSYOP. The Democrats were doing a PSYOP on the, by the way, on the Democrat states. they were PSYOPing their own constituents. And because they wanted to see what the reaction would be to the drones. I guess they were trying to figure it out. And that's why they wouldn't tell the American public that, yeah, there are drones, don't worry about it, And then, of course, they were saying that in the mix was probably a lot of personal drones, so added to the craziness. And so it was a big test and everything. So Trump came out and said they were just our drones and don't worry about it. It's a water over the dam now. And why the Democrats wouldn't want to tell? Well, like I said, it was a PSYOP. They wanted to see. It was, it's kind of like giving somebody LSD and trying to brainwash them. Democrats are so easily brainwashed. It's unbelievable, right? All right, so let's get into the greatest story ever for me is massive breaking. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has revoked Mark Milley's security detail and security clearance. Hegseth is now planning on demoting the general. Hegseth has ordered the removal of all Pentagon portraits of Milley. Total humiliation. I honestly thought the FBI was going to be knocking on my door because I made video after video calling Milley a traitor. He's a traitor. He should be in jail. Okay, and he should be tried for treason. Now, I think, didn't Biden pardoned him. So I'm not sure, what we can do, but at least this is a start. And then, of course, I've also said that Austin was a DEI hire. That guy was dumber than a bag of stones. Now, if it tells you how Congress is, Hegseth got approved 50-50. Austin, all the Republicans and all the Democrats, for the most part, he got about almost all the Senate voted to put him in office. So that tells you how deep the deep state is and how much the military-industrial complex owns the Congress. You got somebody qualified like Hegseth, and yet they put an idiot in with almost a unanimous vote. So, man, I tell you, it's crazy. So we're going to get into some other videos. Here's one thing. Elon Musk, he just gets things done. The United States military just entered the great state of California and under emergency powers turned on the water flowing abundantly from the Pacific Northwest and beyond. The days of putting a fake environment argument over the people are over. Enjoy the water, California. Now, I don't know how Trump is able to do this legally, but it's good for the people of California. Although the Democrats in California, they're probably going to be bitching. Oh, we got water. We don't want water. Because it's not a Democrat. This isn't a Democrat that did it, But yeah, so anyway, Insurrection Barbie. This was Chip Roy. If Joe Biden and Merrick Garland had not politicized the Justice Department, there would probably be about 20 or 30 cases that President Trump would not have pardoned. Bingo. You don't like the fact that it was a pardon for everybody? That's on you people. Yes, you people. Who decided to make a mockery of our justice system? You people who decided that you were going to make an example out of anybody in a red MAGA hat or anybody protesting in front of an abortion clinic. You who decided to strip away the due process rights of 1,500 American citizens. It's not their crimes that you are up for debate anymore. It's yours, and I got a good video of him. Let's watch the video of Trip Boy right now.
the president came in and made a judgment that these 1,500 people of varying forms, some sentenced, some not, some had taken plea deals, some not, had 48 months of their life turned upside down by a Department of Justice who wanted to try to make an example out of them. And the President of the United States said enough. And you know what? I agree. Because at the end of the day, 48 months later, many of them having been in jail for all or a lot of that time, many of them who had their doors broken down, many of them had FBI raids. I had two grandmas driving from Austin, Texas, out into the hill country just a few months ago who were arrested and jailed overnight because they were physically present here at the Capitol. Not even inside, to the best of my knowledge. I think they might have just crossed one of the bike lines. 3 years later, you arrest two grandmothers, put them in jail? Does anybody see what happens when you politicize the justice system? The scales of justice become something that you can't look at as blindfolded? And again, why am I talking about this? Because today, the president righted the wrongs of those 21 individuals who were literally protesting in their view, and I share that view, the murdering of the unborn children. I think that stuff matters. I think it matters a lot. Because had Joe Biden, had Merrick Garland not politicized the Department of Justice, then maybe 20 or 30 cases of individuals who had done something that were particularly egregious, that were prosecuted, maybe those wouldn't have been pardoned. I don't know. I haven't studied every case. But when you're looking at 1,500 cases and all the people who are being abused, I think the president did the right thing. And again, differentiated between those with the commuted sentences. But meanwhile, what the president is doing, besides, I think, trying to restore balance to the justice system, is he's keeping his promises to secure our country. One of my colleagues over there said the first thing the president did was make us less safe. Are you serious? Are you serious? You think reversing politicized political prosecutions 4 years later is making us less safe? May I remind my Democrat colleagues that the individual who burned down a police station, a career criminal, got 27 months. That's the idea of justice, my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. Let's put aside the $2 billion of damage nationwide in the wake of the Floyd riots. Let's put aside all the other damage that flowed from that. Meanwhile, what is the president doing? Making our nation much more safe.
All right. So then we get into Charlie Kirk. And this was actually, I can't believe, sometimes out of the horse's mouth or Satan's mouth or a demonic mouth comes the truth. And this was AOC. AOC confirms to Jon Stewart that Congress is filled with a bunch of insider trading crooks who get rich buying and selling stocks in industries they're responsible for regulating. I can't believe AOC actually said this. Let's watch that video.
There need to be Democrats who walk the walk and talk the talk. There is an insane amount of hypocrisy, and the hypocrisy is what gets exploited to use the cynicism. And wherever there's a hypocritical window, for example, I think one of the most biggest examples of this is insider trading in Congress. Like,
dude, I don't know if I do I give snaps? I don't know what the kids do anymore, but dude. Yes.
It is
that's so crazy.
It's so crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, and this is the thing. It's like people think that everyday people are stupid. I'm like, do you all really think that people don't see this shit?
They sit on a committee, they get information about a drug or a contract or a thing. They immediately make a call. The stockbroker changes things and their portfolio swells.
Explodes. It explodes.
What are we doing?
And you're doing this on public trust.
Right.
On taxpayer finance, public, facilities. Of course.
You're regulating the market that you're trading on.
Exactly. And
you run the casino.
And then we're supposed to act like money doesn't only corrupts Republicans? Give me a fucking break.
All right, so that was that. So then we get into, this is Geroman, and I just wanted to read this to you because it's very true. Russia does not want to talk about Ukraine because there's nothing to talk about anymore. In my previous video, I told you that, by the way, if you want to watch the battle for the town that just got taken, I can't remember, Nostalgia, anyway, I'll put it up above. But anyway, the way the Russians took that, it was genius. I mean, that's why it fell so quickly, is they came at it in really unconventional ways. And on History Legends on YouTube, watch the History Legends. He does a breakdown of everything that took place. I don't even know how that guy puts together those videos, and whether if he has it, I don't see, maybe he's got a team of people that work for him, but I mean, he just broke every facet of how the Russians took it. I mean, if you just want to watch strategic warfare, I mean, and learn a bit, I mean, definitely watch his channel. I mean, it was awesome. Ukraine forces will disintegrate soon. Russians will move further to the Dnieper River. He doesn't say that. Russia wants to talk about a new security system, architecture in Europe, Eurasia as a whole. People should start to understand this. I think Trump's getting an education. We haven't heard too much on Ukraine out of Trump since he was wildly misled by the numbers and everything. By the way, Colonel McGregor today confirmed my numbers. We're looking at about 1 to 1.2 million dead Ukrainians, and he said 90 to 100,000, and I think it's more than that, probably 110,000 dead Russians. Now you multiply that by about 3 or 4, and you get into the casualty numbers. So that just tells you how significant this war has been in comparison to World War II, where I think we lost around 500,000 for the entirety of the war, compared to Russia's 25 million that were lost. You know, and then Trump comes out and says they assisted us in the war. No, we assisted Russia. Now, there was a lot of things that we did that really, I mean, even though they lost 25 million, it could have been a lot more because of, you know, our air power really assisted the Russians in their endeavor. So this is an update on the swift actions Trump has taken to deport criminal illegal aliens and secure our homeland. And so this is a video of the press conference, the first honest press conference we've had in 4 years. I don't know what is it about Democrats they love being lied to? You know, I mean, do they just want to hang out and see like who could tell the biggest lie? and that must be like a badge of respect to a Democrat, you know, because, oh man, your lie was bigger than my lie. Oh man, dude, you're awesome. You are awesome. Anyway, so this was the press conference. Let's watch that. Boom.
On January 23rd, ICE New York arrested a Turkish national for entry without inspection who is a known or suspected terrorist. On January 23rd, ICE San Francisco arrested a citizen of Mexico unlawfully present in the United States who has been convicted of continuous sexual abuse of a child aged 14 years or younger. ICE St. Paul has arrested a citizen of Honduras who was convicted of 4th-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor. ICE Buffalo arrested a citizen of Ecuador who has been convicted of rape. ICE Boston arrested a citizen of the Dominican Republic who has a criminal conviction for 2nd-degree murder. This criminal was convicted of murder for beating his pregnant wife to death in front of her 5-year-old son. And ICE St. Paul also arrested a citizen of Mexico who was convicted of possessing pornographic material of a minor on a work computer. These are the heinous individuals that this administration is removing from American communities every single day, and to the brave state and local law enforcement officers, CBP, and ICE agents who are helping in the facilitation of this deportation operation, President Trump has your back, and he is grateful for your hard work.
All right, so that's that video. And then, let's see. All right, I'm sorry, it always goes back to the beginning, so I have to scroll down. So I wanted to include RFK in here. So this is all the congressmen owned by Pfizer won't like this. And this was breaking. RFK plans to remove the immunity protections of vaccine manufacturers and to hold them accountable for harmful vaccines, confirmed RFK Jr. Like I said, that's a lot of big money. And Big Pharma and Big Food, Tyson Foods, if you want to know, they own the Congress. I don't see how he's going to get approved, even if Nicole and billionaires. I mean, imagine being a corrupt politician and you're looking at, okay, if I vote for him, all of these billionaires are going to primary me out and I'm going to lose my career, which Mitch McConnell and I think Lindsey Graham knows he's going to be gone. At least I think he's got to be gone. I mean, come on, South Carolina, you can't vote for this guy. I mean, there's no way in hell. So that's 2 votes that don't matter. They don't care. But the other congressmen that she said she's going to primary, like Fetterman and whatnot, they got a long career ahead. So they might just say, who do we want to piss off, our donors or the billionaires that are going to primary us? And so either way, they're caught between a rock and a hard place. Let's watch RFK Jr. right now.
What I would do is I would get rid of that immunity. I would lift the immunity and make them accountable and make them responsible, because that's the only way to ensure the safety of this product. They haven't paid anything with vaccines because vaccines are immune from liability. So you cannot, no matter how negligent that company is, no matter how reckless they are, no matter how grievous your injury, you can't sue them.
All right, so that was RFK saying what he's going to do. Like I said, it always pops back to the beginning. And then I was going to finish it up right there, but I wanted to get this in here, and I'm going to put the meme as you're looking at the meme right now, and I just thought this was cute. Let's start calling it repatriation. We're sending them back to make their own countries great again. It's better for everyone. It's not deportation, it's repatriation. So you know what? When you're in an argument with a Democrat and they're talking about, I can't believe they were sending all these illegal aliens, especially the illegal alien criminals, home. I gotta cry on this. Oh my God. Well, maybe you could just say, well, you know what? We're really not, it's not deportation because they were never residents of the United States. We're just repatriating them to their own country, right? I mean, that seems to me. All right. So let's get this video before I get to the other video. So this is a Chicago resident, and I just loved what this guy had to say. And I found this video. It says, you spent $574 million on illegal immigrants here in Chicago, Illinois since 2022. Now you still feel like you have to harbor these illegals, which is not a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea to challenge Tom Homan on this because he's trying to clean up our cities. This is a must listen to from somebody who absolutely demolishes the mayor of Chicago and J.B. Pritzker. Anyway, let's. The video speaks for itself. I can't do no more. Watch the video now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. You spent over $574 million on illegal immigrants here in Chicago, Illinois since 2022. Now, you still feel like you have to harbor these illegals, which is not a good idea. And in my personal opinion, I don't think it's a good idea to challenge Tom Homan on this because he's trying to clean up our cities, Mr. Brandon Johnson. Now, let me just remind everybody here that Brandon Johnson is terrible with the budget. How is this $40 million credit line is going to work exactly? Because the key word is credit. So how much will we be using from this $40 million? And the real question is, how much will we be paying back? Now, you want to sit here, you and J.B. Pritzker want to puff out your chest and fight Tom Homan. We need Tom Homan here in Chicago. We need Donald Trump. And I don't want to see people like Pam Bundy and Kash Patel haul you up out of here and become prosecuted. I don't want to see that happen. But they will do their job if they have to, Brandon Johnson. Now, we are $1 billion in debt. That's absolutely insane. Kamala Harris, she spent $1 billion on her campaign less than a year, and she's $20 million in debt. So it's looking like Democrats are bad with money. Now, you ignored me for 10 to 15 seconds last time I was speaking, and I really did not appreciate that at all. But I got a Christmas present for you. Let's remind the people of Chicago that Brandon Johnson spent $32,000 in campaign funds on haircuts and makeup. So I got an early Christmas present for you, Brandon Johnson. This is some makeup for you right here. You got some rouge, you got the makeup brush right there, so you can save this people some money, for crying out loud. Now, let me tell you people, I'm going to be serious here. We need to start voting different in these cities like New York and Chicago. Stop voting these people in. It's not Democrat versus Republican anymore. It is populist versus establishment. It is the populist versus the establishment. Stop letting them trick you into the race baiting when it comes to Brandon Johnson. Oh, black people need help too. Trump want to hurt black people. What are you talking about? We're legal here. We are legal.
All right, so that was awesome, wasn't it? I mean, my God, that guy was incredible. So then we come down to this is Insurrection Barbie, and I'll put his picture up above. But just to tell you what went on, okay? I mean, the January 6th political prisoners were literally that, man. I mean, these people in these jails, they were satanic. But let's just read this post to you. This is Thomas Faust. He is the director of the Department of Corrections, and he is in charge of the D.C. jail. The same D.C. jail that has tortured January 6 prisoners. The same D.C. jail that made their food was not edible. The same D.C. jail that was made sure they were beaten and punished for speaking out or having people like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene advocate on their behalf. The same D.C. jail that puts people in solitary confinement for days on end in violation of every international human rights law. I would like to know when we can all expect a full investigation into this person and his role for allowing that to happen. This is America. We don't torture American citizens in prison, no matter what crime they've committed, unless you're a Democrat. Democrats enjoy torture, man, or torturing other people. They might not like being tortured themselves, although some of them are pretty, they're pretty demonic, satanic, Marxist, they might enjoy a little torture, like you see in the movies where the dominatrix comes in, with the whip and everything. You never know with a Democrat. That's for damn sure. So, and this was cute. I'm going to dedicate this meme to Lloyd Austin or California in general. And I just love this. It says before DEI, after DEI. and California still has DEI. That tells you how stupid the people of California are. I mean, these are some dumb Democrats, man. But yeah, just take a look at this meme. I thought that was cute. And then we'll make another video about Trump's first day in office and another video, because this is going to get too long. But this was, I just wanted to finish off right here. This was Vladimir Putin on Western elites. And I swear there's no better way of putting this. No better way than, okay, you're a Putin lover. You're a Putin lover. No, I just think what he had to say here was it was spot on, man. It says they've been stuffing their stomachs with human flesh and they've been stuffing their pockets with money, but they must realize the ball of vampires is about to end. And this was Putin talking about the elites of the West, especially the Biden administration. And we'll finish it off right there. Let's watch that video.
Many people in the world, they are looking at what's happening in our country, what's happening in our struggle for our interests. And here is an important thing. Why is it happening? Not because we are formally a BRICS member or we have some traditional relations with Africa, which is also important as well. But the gist of it is different. The gist of it is that the so-called golden billion for centuries, for 500 years, they have practically lived off of other peoples. They were ripping apart these poor peoples, poor nations of Africa. They exploited Latin America. They exploited the countries of Asia. And of course, no one forgets this. And I have a feeling that it's not even about the leaders of these countries, even though it is a very important thing, but the common people of these countries. In their heart, they can feel what's happening. They can see our struggle for our independence, for our true sovereignty. And they see this connection with their aspirations to be truly independent, which is exacerbated by the fact that in the Western elites, there is a strong desire to freeze the current unfair state of things. In international affairs. For centuries, they've been stuffing their stomachs with human flesh and they've been stuffing their pockets with money, but they must realize that this ball of vampires is about to end.
Okay, and I'm going to do one more post. This is, let's see, this might, okay, no, this is going to get into the next video. Anyway, that's it for the video. January 29th, man, can you believe it's almost February? Trump's only been in office a week. And wait till I do the video on all the stuff that Trump has gotten done. That'll be the next video. And it's huge. Maybe I'll make 2 videos today. We'll see. Peace out. Stay free.
Suspected cartel gunmen in Mexico fire shots at Border Patrol agents in Fronton, Texas. This all happened about 1 hour ago. Law enforcement tells Bill Mallusion it happened as cartel members tried to bring a group of illegal immigrants across the river. The agents fired back. No one on either side was hit. The group of illegal immigrants did not make it across the Red River. Now, this